We didn't discuss this.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to VR Verdict Podcast, episode 118, our weekly podcast where we talk about everything VR. Speaking of, we are in VR. We don't say this enough. We are doing the show live in VR. You can catch our YouTube channel, VR Verdict, on youtube.com. Leave comments. I don't know why Wookiee's flipping the camera off with pills, but anyway.
If you're listening to
That's
this
what he's
only
doing.
and you didn't know we were in VR, I'm trying.
Better is really excited to see Bender over there.
You can come here. No, I made circles. That makes sense. Now you can see me flipping off the camera.
I gotta be honest, I was seeing something other than you flipping it off.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
What's your podcast rated? I mean, come on.
My God. We don't have a rating. Anyway, I'm PJ.
I'm Wookie.
And I'm Lorne. Hello, I'm Lorne.
Hey, Lorne. Lorne's from Corrupted
Lorne?
Media Studios, working on their game Vertical Shift. Here to talk about it. So
Yeah, I like what
How's
you've
it
done
going?
with the place. Is this how it always looks?
90,
It
80,
can be.
90%. Yeah, we change it for every guest. Sometimes we bring in game assets like weapons or characters, and you can see them in VR and stuff. But
I think he was like wondering if we have his posters up all the time.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
It's actually we had
Next
to take
time.
some down. We thought there were going to be copyright problem.
I
we
mean,
can
Bender
make a-
might be, but he's inside the camera.
Nobody can
Yeah,
see this.
Oh, so no one knows what we're
He's
talking about when we point towards them and call them Bender?
Yeah, they
All
can't see
hail.
it.
All hail.
He is legend.
To find out what we're talking about, you'll have to join our audience. It's coming soon.
When I develop the audience part.
So anyway, back to Vertical Shift. Tell us a little bit about your game and what's going on with you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're Corrupted Media Productions. We're developing Vertical Shift, as you mentioned. Vertical Shift, in simple words, you have a grapple hook and you have a jetpack and you fly around dense cityscapes and compete in multiplayer matches. We're a multiplayer game primarily. We've got really, really fun game modes like this one on the TV right now. That one's called Freeze Tag. It works kind of like you might remember Freeze Tag from the playground. Two teams face off. Your goal is to tag everybody else and keep your team untagged. And that's our really competitive mode. We run tournaments on that all the time. Typically one tournament a month, and then actually next week we have a community run tournament, it's our very first one, run by our our Discord moderator Brick, and I'm very excited to see what he does with it. We also have a race game mode. We have a hot seat game mode. Kind of think of it as like an inverse King of the Hill, where if you tag somebody, you become king of the hot seat, and everybody's trying to take it from you. And our really, really popular one too is Infection. If you played Halo, you'll know this one. One person starts as it. They're trying to tag everybody. If you get tagged, you're it, and it grows into this chaotic, terrifying mess of people chasing you through the sky.
Nice.
And it's a lot of fun. We've got a rapidly growing community. You can join our Discord to find people to play with. You can also just hop in the game, and there's typically a room open you can join. And we've got a lot of really friendly people playing who love to teach people, how to get good at it.
And speaking of that, all the links to everything will be in the show notes. But it's also, correct me if I'm wrong, but last time I checked, I just played it. It's free on App Lab and Steam right now, correct?
It's free as it can be.
Okay.
This is how we're still in beta. So while the idea here is to really, really kind of try and true the ideas we have. It won't be free forever. One day we will have a paid launch, but for now we want to get as many eyes in the game, as many players in the game, and just let us know what you think. That's a really big thing we want to make sure people know is we want to hear what you think. If you don't like our game, let us know. If you do like our game, please let us know. We've got all kinds of channels in our Discord for reporting bugs, and we've got a huge community of playtesters who are, merciless.
That's awesome. What I just noticed must not have saw it in the game, but is there a game that involves police cars, or is that just background?
So our single player, we have 5 single player missions
Nice.
and kind of a short progression through them in this big city of the future in a dystopian world where fog has descended upon the earth covered in toxic fumes, and you have to live in these super tall skyscrapers to survive. But the people who took over and run those skyscrapers are not nice people. And so you can actually see the skyscrapers there. That's our prison break mission. I think the police chase is next, and they're called peacekeepers, and they work for the corporate leadership group, the CLG.
Nice.
And we've got other lore. I'm actually the lead writer on the project, so I can go on forever about the game's lore.
Wow. Like I said, I did play it. I don't remember how many missions I got into it. I did the tutorial and the trainings. I think I did the first mission only.
The race?
Yeah, it was neat to see, like, you kind of have story behind everything. That's, a lot of VR games still don't have much story, so it was good to see that.
Yeah, I'm a real story nerd.
Nerd alert.
I get really into lore, so I made sure. Oh, you poking me? Oh. So I made sure to fill this thing up with as much lore as I could fit in it. So before every mission, you talk to a member of the Resistance, each played by one of our lovely team members. You probably talked to Sasha. She's the first you talk to, and she's actually played by my friend Chelsea.
Nice.
We've been so fortunate for the voice talent, and honestly, all of the talent in the game. Just to give you a bit of the history of the project, this game actually started as a class project and a vision of my brother, Sean, and a friend of his from the dorm, Ben. And they were kind of the first 2 of Corrupted Media. Ben was providing the multiplayer ideas because he's a big competitive gamer himself, and Sean built the game mechanics. He kind of had this vision of swinging around in VR. There's a video. It actually recently popped up on our Snapchat. Once a year we get a little Snapchat, those memories.
Mhm.
Sean took a video of the very first line of code of Vertical Shift, which was just a little man swinging on a box. And that was Sean's proof of concept. And from there, he got other people excited on the team. That's when Dave and Connor joined. Then they started building, and they built it for their senior project for 2 semesters, actually with special permission, because they were supposed to do a different project the next year, but they were like, hey, we're trying to build a company out of this, and how could the professors say no? And then once they were done with the senior project, we founded a company and put the game on SideQuest. We grew it for a year on SideQuest. It was a much simpler game back then with much simpler graphics. And during that year, we brought on artists. We brought on our good friend Adrian, who did all of the building models here, and our friend Douglas, who did the character models. And just upgraded the visual aesthetics of the game while also kind of hardening most of the mechanics and the game modes. And then this last Christmas, we launched on Steam and Oculus App Labs, and that's where we are right now. We're still rolling out frequent updates. We've put out 4 updates this year so far, with more on the way, and the game just keeps getting better.
I was gonna say, when you're swinging around and flying around, like, there's no ground, the only floors are like the buildings. And I have, I haven't got VR sick for a long time. But it's nice to find a game that once in a while will give you that little, like, when you go over a bump too fast in a car and your stomach moves a little bit. I got that a couple of times, so it was nice to feel that again.
Yeah, we're good.
I wasn't nauseous or anything, but yeah, it was. You can really get some speed going, zipping around in those cities. And like you said, you had like a race mode and you have competitive things, so obviously you're building towards that. But I was kind of surprised how smooth and how fast I was able to get up to speed.
We, that's been a major kind of thing we've had to design around. That's kind of been the excitement of developing in VR. Is not all the rules have been written yet.
Yeah.
Like, you want to make a 2D platformer, you can come up with very novel things for 2D platformers. Let me not knock them. However, most of the rules can be Googled. If you have a question on what the right way to do it is, you can Google it. With VR, it just hasn't been around long enough. So we had to do a lot of experimentation and research and trial testing to figure out how to make the experience of swinging and flying as comfortable as possible, because we really don't want people to feel sick in our game. And naturally, Vertical Shift still is probably not the first game anyone should play on VR. You probably want to get your VR legs a little bit first.
Or the second
but
one.
but a lot of our design considerations, for example, you mentioned that there is no ground. In the very first model, when I came on and I tried out the game, that they gave me, there was a ground. And let me tell you what I learned quickly. I did not like falling to the ground. I had all these alarm bells going off in my head saying I was about to turn into a pancake. Virtual reality is very good at fooling your eyes and your stomach. And so it's why we wrote into the story that you're so high up in the air, you can't see the ground and you'll get sick and die if you go too low. It's so that no one ever has to experience, splatting on the ground. You just fall until you reset. That's it's a major comfort consideration we built.
So you're like the Matrix now.
We want you to be comfortable.
So you
At
have
90 miles an hour.
You have the grapple cables. You have the hand jets. Am I remembering wrong? Can you like put your arms out and like glide as well? Like,
yeah,
kind
absolutely.
Of
oh, no.
Yeah, and that's just a tip to anybody. If you ever want to achieve max speed, someone's chasing you down in freeze tag. If you glide, you instantly go max speed. So it's a great way to pick up speed quickly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's combining like most games, and again, going, VR is not old, but a lot of the original games, like you'd have one of those mechanics. You guys took all three of them and kind of put them together very well, I think. So
Thank you.
Pretty insane.
That's nice.
Hopefully the devs are listening. Oh, hello, Cat. No, you can't hang out right now. I'm in virtual reality. I can't see you. I just have claws going in my leg. I'm not a fan. One moment, please. Kitty cat. Away you go.
My cat got his balls taken off yesterday, so he's got the
We should take a moment of silence for that. Okay.
Okay, good bit.
There's a VR game for you. I'm just getting back to this.
Digital cat deflation. Okay. Scalpel.
Surely someone's made something like that. There must be a VR surgery game by now. There's like 10 on Steam that are just for the flat gaming. You can see through the the little nose gap on your Quest. I can just see my cat angrily staring at me for not petting it.
Oh, that's not good.
So anyway, Vertical Shift. She's not allowed to play. We have taken pictures of her in headset before.
Nice.
But when we turned it on, she got quite upset by the lights.
How'd you do with the paddles to the controller?
I just leaned them on her.
So yeah, it was. You check out your guys' YouTube channel. It's you stream like the gaming, the esports side of things. Tournaments.
Yeah,
is what
we
I was
do.
for. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I was watching a couple, and yeah, those like I could swing around the city and get through the time trials and things, but there's no way in hell I'd keep up with those guys. Holy cow!
Oh, let me tell you, me too. I have been playing this game longer than anyone. With the only exception of the other developers, like I was a QA tester a bit back when we first got started, and I'm blown away constantly every single tournament when I see these guys play. We've got such incredible players. Like Brick, who's going to be running this next tournament, Win, Lord Death, all the people who came to that final round. Like, if you want to see what this game can look like when turned up to 100, you should check out the finals of the Retro Electro tournament. Those guys, I mean, it was so fast.
Yeah.
They went in a corner and it was tag on tag, tag on tag, tag on tag. Compare that to like a public lobby where you just play around and the pacing is totally different.
Yeah.
But those tournaments, so that's the brainchild of Ben and our tournament organizer Chandler, and they put on just such a good production out of it. We've done a few now. I think, don't quote me on this, I think we're at our 5th or 6th tournament that we've been running at that production level, and we offer cash prizes.
Awesome.
And Ben is such a talented shoutcaster, and combine that with the talent. Up until this last tournament, I was a spectator. I'd just watch and love it. I'd just sit back. I'm not really into sports myself, so this is kind of like the first sport I've been really able to get into.
Nice.
I would invite friends over. We'd have popcorn. We'd cheer on it. We'd pick a team and cheer them into the finals. This last time, I actually went on as kind of the correspondent role. So I interviewed players who came off of the last game and also raffled off T-shirts and merch and such. And if you want merch, check our website.
Merch.
Links in the show notes.
Yeah.
Like,
I assume.
you get motion sickness just watching the YouTube version of like one of those guys streaming so fast. 'Cause I can't imagine. That looks like fun. I don't think I would have a problem with that. But if I tried to keep up with some of those guys, I'd probably be in a little bit of trouble.
We do have to shuffle between all the players pretty frequently,
Yeah.
because we show first person perspective, and I don't know that's why Ben shuffles through them, but let's just say you never have to watch one guy going quite as fast for too long. They recently. And I say recently, it might be kind of like, when I found out about the word poggers, I thought, oh, what a recent term. And I found out it's what people have been saying for a long time. It was not long ago. But recently, our players have started the strategy they're calling juking. And if juking is a very normal thing to others, I'm not the competitive guy. That's Ben. But they will bait somebody in. So we have here. I'm going to use the pills here. We got player one here. A very common thing that occurs in the game is a joust. So 2 people are swinging at each other, and they both tag, right? And we have programmed it. We've put a lot of work into making sure there's always a winner of the joust. If you're a split second on top earlier, you win the joust. But
Nice.
So what some players have been doing is they'll bait somebody into a joust, and then they will pull back at the very last second. They'll reach behind them and zip with their grapple hook. So they'll come into the joust, they'll get right before they fire, pull back, and then they'll get above them and tag them then.
Nice.
I saw that
That's
strategy pulled off by our best players over and over this last tournament, and I've been trying it. I have been trying to pull it off. I get tagged every time I attempt it. And what would get real crazy is when you then start seeing people juking, like they both come into joust and then they both juke.
Then they jive.
And then they jive, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Lord
it's
Death,
always
if you're watching, I
amazing
want to
to
see this
me-
maneuver.
yeah. It's always
What does this
amazing to
look
me,
like
like
for you?
gamers, like you develop a game and you're like, why the hell is that person doing that? I would have never thought someone would do that. And I got to fix that. But same kind of thing, like with just playing the actual game and creating moves like that. It's just insane. And how would you guys have ever even like concepted that?
I don't know. It's kind of been a big thing about developing for VR. It's again why it was very important to us that we develop in VR. We were very excited about it. We started this game right after the Oculus Quest 1 came out, because we could tell just by putting it on, this was not the final version of this hardware. And when we get that final version, it's going to be huge. And also because there just weren't very many multiplayer games at that time. Like my brother got a Quest 1, I got a Quest 1. I promise I'm getting back to your question. My brother got a Quest 1, I got a Quest 1, and then we were like, oh, cool, let's play together. And we went online, and there was like a card game. We could play poker. I was like, well, shoot, I could do that outside of VR. Where are the multiplayer games that let you do things that are impossible?
Right.
So that's kind of what started spawning this idea, was to build a game that we could play with our friends, the game we wanted to play in VR. But one of the exciting things we learned very quickly when developing for VR is there are no limitations to what the player can do. In traditional games, you can control player perspective, you can control where the player goes, you can lock out controls. You have all this control. We don't have that. I can't guarantee anyone's going to be looking at something unless I properly incentivize them to look at them. And
it's not good to like lock out controls, because that can cause nauseous and all kinds of problems. So you don't want to do that.
So we had to kind of rethink a lot of the basics of game design because we were like, we just can't, trust that our players are going to do exactly what we expect them to here. And they constantly prove us right on that.
So you have like a tutorial and somebody's talking and you program it so, like, my camera stops looking at him and then the tutorial stops and the guy's like, I'm fucking talking to you. Until they look at him again. That's what I've always envisioned. Like, okay,
honestly, you should write that down.
You piece of
we
shit.
do have a tutorial. We do have a tutorial. I play the coach in the tutorial, and I would love to record that line. Fortunately, this is recording. Hey, Connor, you're working on the tutorial. Take note of that.
I'll let you have that one, Connor. Free.
That's a freebie.
For free.
That's also been so I wrote all the characters, not all of them. I've had some friends tag in and write some of the characters, but that's been like a really fulfilling and rewarding and crazy thing. Is I'll write this character, I'll record it with a friend, I'll send it all to my brother Sean, who then packages it together with a system he created, and then puts it in, and then I go into VR, stand in front of the character I wrote, and have a conversation with them. Especially when it's myself. Those are typically pretty surreal. That's actually I do a really silly accent. It's like the worst Southern accent you've ever heard. And it's mostly so that I don't actually have to listen to myself every time I'm going in to test the game.
Nice.
I can have some plausible deniability of, no, that's not me. That's Coach.
How many blooper reels? You ever get in a fight with yourself?
I can't speak to that. Me and Coach are on good talking terms.
I think I would like to hear the accent. I mean, I've heard it in the game, but for those who haven't played yet.
Well, let's see if I can get it together now. This is Coach here. I just want to take you through this here tutorial. If you look down there, that's what's my line? It's if you look down below you, those purple clouds you see, they ain't cotton candy. Fall down there, you'll be dead before you hit the ground.
Nice.
I'm from Georgia. I can do it.
I can't make it clap.
Thank you.
But very good.
Oh, I'm banging my controllers together. That's not good.
That's just neat that you guys can, all have like a piece of it and have fun with it and make it into something, put everything together and make something out of it. That's pretty awesome.
We're a small, tight ship. The only way we run is if everybody owns something. So everybody has final decision making on one part of the game and one thing that they contribute to. And it's been working really, really well. Lois is our lead artist. Adrian is our 3D designer. I have final say on story. Ben is our competitive guy. He designs, how to make the game a competitive and interesting environment for multiplayer. Sean works gameplay. Connor has the tutorial. And Chandler has tournaments. And it works a lot better that way. We move a lot faster, and there's a lot less, it's a small but kind of big team for the scale we're at.
Sure.
I wish they could have joined us. I see you have enough seats for everybody, but
These
I
are
mentioned
mine.
this beforehand, but I'll tell the users. Vertical Shift is currently at MomoCon in Atlanta. We're in the Indie Cluster booth over in the gaming section, and we're running demos. So we've got headsets that we are vigorously cleaning between use. And you can come on down, try out the game, swing around Orion. We'll hand you one of our download cards so you can take it home and download it for yourself. So if you're in the Georgia area and you're going to MomoCon, come check us out. Come say hi and say Lorne sent you. And if you're there Saturday and Sunday, you'll be saying that to me.
Nice.
I would love
Kinda
for someone
like
to say Lorne sent me to me. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
If
kinda
I
like you're
live
talking
You
to
can
your
say
coach
Rocket
there.
Lad sent me. That's my online. That's my name on Discord. Do you guys do that? Run like your online identity and your real identity? I never know which one to use.
Yeah, so like we've been playing online since, I mean, there was some before that, but like Dreamcast, would you say, Wookie?
Yeah. pretty much.
Wow.
So I've been like PJ since then, and like my wife at the time for 20 years, like we actually still call each other by our online handles, like our friends in real life. Like that's just we use that more than our real names, so it's kind of
We had back at that time, we had a friend come visit from New York. We met on one of the Dreamcast games. And, you know, riding on a bus all the way halfway across the country, there's Justin, but then it's like, hey, Crimson. And it's really awkward because I don't call you Justin. No, I can't call you. It was really weird because it was like my brain wouldn't let me call the guy by his name, and it's like, well, it's Crim, it's Crimson. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it. Everybody gets to pick another identity, their own name.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'll say today I learned that the Dreamcast had internet, but
What?
He's not Ren and Stimpy old.
That's right.
I'm not Ren and Stimpy old. No,
Dreamcast was actually like the shit. So
Yeah,
I'm still sad.
it was
that
so
one's
ahead
gone
of
away,
its
but
time.
what was my first online console? I think it was the 360.
All right.
Yeah, it was the 360. I had an Xbox, but I never figured out how to get it to connect to the internet because I was very small. And
Well,
the
let me
internet was
say
much
this.
more complicated back then.
This probably won't tell you how old I am, but I actually beta tested Xbox Live before it was a thing. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
original Xbox.
So like the original Xbox before. Yeah, wow, what a crazy thing to have happened. That there was an
Especially
Xbox without Xbox Live.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I remember we saw the Xbox. We're like, what the hell is that jack on the back for? Like, because it didn't exist.
it had
Oh, you
Ethernet.
plugged them into each other.
Yeah, you
Dreamcast
could do
had
that.
the regular phone cord that nobody uses anymore with 4 wires, and then this one had like the bigger phone jack, and it's like, oh, what's this? And that was before Ethernet was like, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it like pushed it. So it was like, oh shit.
So what's this, like
I'm-
1935?
And then I have a funny story. The GameCube came out not long after Xbox Live, and that had,
That was my
like,
first console.
that had like the regular phone cord plug-in, but you could get the Ethernet adapter. And I remember walking through girlfriend's one of her old high school friends. She got one, and she couldn't figure out how to use the Ethernet because she was trying to plug in the regular phone cord into the Ethernet thing. And I was like, one's got fucking 4, the other's got fucking 8. It's twice as big. Which one are you using? The other one. And like I remember it was like a 3-hour conversation. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't care who you are. Go to hell. I was like, I'm gonna see my free time, but she couldn't get the damn Ethernet thread. I'm like, I'm thinking you're using the phone cord, honey. Oh my god. Sorry, that's working me out.
So then I have a question for you. What do you think you back then would have said to the idea of recording a podcast in virtual reality with someone across the nation?
I would have said, the fuck is a podcast? And how do you record that in a Virtual Boy when it's all just like red?
Oh gosh. Okay, so you'll like this. I don't know how much of this actually ended up in our tournament, like videos on demand that we put on YouTube. But this last tournament was Retro Electro, and we needed to figure out some filler content, for when the shoutcasters have to go to the bathroom. And so we gathered up a collection of Virtual Boy commercials.
Nice.
And early 90s internet advertisements. And played
awesome.
those, and they are amazing. If you have not watched a Virtual Boy commercial since the Virtual Boy came out, I recommend it. I don't know how they thought this was good marketing, but the video is of the Virtual Boy chasing someone down and forcing itself onto his face.
I don't remember that.
I don't know what they were going for. It seems like a bad
Facebook
call.
didn't steal that yet.
Well, they will, because that'll happen in real life.
Now they heard you.
Yeah.
Mark, you listening?
See,
Mark?
Yeah.
We're old enough that I don't know if you remember the specifics, but like I remember the Paul Rudd actor, Ant-Man and all that shit.
Yeah.
He got his start
Paul
with
Rudd, yes.
Super Nintendo advertisement back then. So the same time frame you're talking about, he's sitting there like playing the giant wall TV, and he's like rocking out with a Super Nintendo controller when he was like 15. That's how old we are. Not as old as Paul Rudd, but I saw him.
It sounds like your Super Nintendo might have been my Xbox.
Yeah. No internet.
All right, we're starting to figure out everybody's age range in here.
It's fun.
So I have a question. When are y'all going to hop in vertical shift and let our players show y'all what's up?
I'm down anytime.
All right. I saw you join the Discord.
Yep.
We have a lot of players who would be happy to show you around, show you a trick or two. Maybe they can teach you to juke. I'll join you. We can learn to juke together.
I'd be down for that.
Might hop in. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, join us too. Probably after MomoCon, because it's a bit of a busy weekend. We have to, show the game to hundreds of people, I guess.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. It's a fun time. Actually, our panels, our booth's right across from a bunch of comic artists. It's really cool.
That sounds terrible.
You should get them to do it.
I'm just kidding. It sounds
There's
awesome.
a guy with a DeLorean time machine parked next to us.
Nice.
Really? I asked. He said it can't get up to 88.
I drove past one of those. I live in North Carolina. It's not too far from you guys. We got really thin roads. And I drove past a DeLorean. Apparently there's a classic car shop not far away. So I keep seeing all these crazy cars. And I drove past a DeLorean and it ran me off the road. I had to put tires in the grass. I'm like, how wide is that fucking thing?
How many of them could there be? Like, they didn't make that many.
I don't know. I know there's podcasts about them, so I don't know.
They're coming back. I saw an ad where like they're trying to revive the brand. Maybe they'll have an electric one.
Well, I mean, now those gull wing doors are all the rage with the Tesla. I feel like an electric DeLorean would kill.
Yeah. Maybe I should gull wing my Volvo.
Do it. Here, I dare you. You hear that, podcast? He's going to gull wing his Volvo. What do you think that'll run?
The Volvo community, it's actually an old car. It's a 66.
Ooh. All right.
I think I would get like castrated by the Volvo community for cutting the roof, like modifying the things.
But could they
one
catch
person
you?
That would come
You'll be going
after
so
you.
fast.
With the 4-cylinder tractor motor. What did you say, PJ?
I said I know one person that might get pretty upset with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had from Resolution Games, Tommy Palm has been on a couple times, and they talk cars. I'm not a car person unless it's like a Batmobile or something. I don't care. But yeah, they talk cars every time, and I'm just kind of over here like, all right, let me know when we get back to VR. Like,
well, apparently the first time we had him on the podcast, and PJ was like, he's gonna go look at some stupid such and such, and apparently Big Tommy was like, that's my dream car.
Yeah,
but he's in Sweden, and that's where the Volvos came from. And I'm driving to Georgia to go sign the paperwork to buy his dream car. And I'm like, maybe I'll just go. Maybe I'll do those Lambo doors that are like sliding van doors, just to piss them
Ooh,
off.
all right.
Then I'll refinance my house with our high mortgage rates nowadays, and I'll just fuck that car over.
So the guys who had the DeLorean at MomoCon, I was actually chatting with the guy next to him who had the Greg Universe from Steven Universe's van.
Nice.
MomoCon's great. MomoCon is fantastic. There was also, just while I'm on it, there was the bus from Fortnite. But so I get this guy's card, and they're like, yeah, this is what he does. He makes movie recreation cars. So if you want a DeLorean time machine, if you want a Jurassic Park Jeep, and I was like, stop. I do.
Yeah,
I do indeed.
Now I kind of want to like be a CEO of something, so I can have a 10-car garage just to put in a Jurassic Park Jeep.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
I am a
whatever
CEO of something, so please go download Vertical Shift so I can have my Jurassic Park Jeep.
Nice.
Won't
I'm
you
in,
help
like, a
this poor
bank, but
man?
that'll do it.
Let me accomplish my dreams. You'll have
Give me
fun
a
too, I promise.
Lamborghini.
Nah, I don't need the Lamborghini, just my Jurassic Park Jeep.
You know, actually, whenever I play like a Forza game, that's the first thing I do. If they give me a starter Jeep that looks like a Jeep, I go on the little browser for the paint jobs, and there's a fucking Jurassic Park one, day one every time. And I'm like, boom, there I go. Nedry, here I come.
I don't think you want to go after Dennis. I don't think it turned out well for him.
He's the only one I can win beat in a race. He's not quick.
Well, and when
Unless
you're being
you're
chased by
playing Vertical
dinosaurs, you
Shift.
don't have to be the fastest.
Yeah.
You just have
second
to be
the
faster than
slow.
Nedry.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're getting to the Jurassic Park deep cuts. I hope everyone here is caught up on their Jurassic Park. There is a new one coming out, so good time for a Jurassic Park marathon if you want to be ready for what I'm sure is going to be a terrible movie.
Yeah, I don't know if the Chris Pratt Jurassic Parks are up my alley. I think I just like the first one, the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's basically the only good one. Not basically, that's the only good one. It was a real one-hit wonder that they've been trying to continue to milk.
I think I did
Apparently
watch the other
life
ones.
doesn't find a way.
Yeah, it like, oh, now they're just running around and appear in LA just so they can, do rampage shit in LA. Like,
that movie drives me crazy. Well, and that kind of feels like what this entire new movie is going to be, is the second half of The Lost World. So
they didn't learn
that's
the
why
lesson last time that it was boring?
No, I guess not. But hopefully they won't have a T-Rex that somehow eats the entire crew while still being locked in the cargo hold. Movie drives me crazy. Have you guys played the Jurassic Park VR game?
Yes, I actually quite enjoy it. Yeah.
All right, so I got to know, because I don't want anything to scare me in VR. I'm not into it. The world is scary enough. Will it
You've
scare
come
me?
to the right place. I cannot handle horror in VR. I can handle horror any other way. Like, it's never bothered me until VR, and I can play that game without dying. Like,
Okay.
literally.
He's
You're good. Yeah.
I got to check it out then, because it looks great. I want to play it so bad, but I'm like, I don't need to be peeing myself in my VR headset.
So I guess you just...
I don't get it. VR horror, just, it sounds terrible. It sounds like something the Geneva Convention should ban.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
it's one of my favorite stories. Like, the first game we played in VR was Elven Assassin. And my favorite, I still remember the feeling, was like, I'm dodging an arrow that PJ's trying to shoot me with, or one of PJ or our other friend we were playing with. And you see this like Nintendo 64 polygonal barrel here. And I know it's not real. I know it's not there. I'm in a cube in like what was that? Just like a theme park rental game unit where, kind of like your booths you have set up that you're cleaning the glasses in between. And yet I still like dodged, and I like, my brain was like, go ahead and lean on that. You can dodge real quick and this barrel will save your ass, but it's not there. And I'm just fucking plastered on the ground laughing, because like the whole slow motion time I'm jumping at this barrel, I'm like, this is going to go really wrong. And my brain didn't care. And it's like, what would I do if a fucking vampire bat flew at my face? I'd be like, might as well play that on the toilet, because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
haven't
it's
even
just
tried
it's
before
too real.
VR.
It's
Yeah, we
I've
had,
got good VR legs, but I don't want to be scared.
we've had Jeff Bull Jr. on the podcast a year ago almost with Don't Upset Bobby, his game. I couldn't even get past the start menu because the music was like, he's really good with music, like spatial audio. I couldn't even start it. I could not make myself, and I feel like a bastard because I'm like, yeah, in October I'll record myself, I'll cry like a little kid and this and that. I couldn't do it.
And I hadn't even heard of that one, and just you guys explaining the premise was like, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like you go into this room and this like kid's doing some weird thing, and he looks over like, "Don't upset mommy," and it's like, no.
Oh, none of that, please.
But
No, thank
we
you.
did play one horror game. The only horror game I played was that Phantasma. What was it called? You're playing the Ghost Hunter.
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia.
My friends were so into that, and I was so left out.
We went in blind, which we usually try to do just to experience stuff like movies and things. So 4 of us were playing, my girlfriend's sister, some random Twitter friend of PJ's. We didn't know what you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to like use tools and someone's supposed to stay outside in the truck and like monitor your sanity levels. All 4 of us are running around and getting picked off by this ghost. And then like, one of them's like, she just drops dead and there's a shadow. She's like, I'm fucking dead. And then we all start like, shit. And then I see these gross hands, like the highest def thing in the game. These hands come and like crunch my face. And I'm like, my hands. I started screaming my hands, but it was his hands. But my face. And it was just like, what the fuck? Like it was a complete mental breakdown. And we never played it again.
Yeah.
Nope, none of that, please. That's not for me. Half-Life Alyx almost got me. That's like the scariest thing I've played in VR so far. The only reason I kept playing was because like, just get me to the next beautiful scene. I haven't either. Honestly, they took me down into the sewers. They handed me a flashlight and a gun, and I couldn't hold both at the same time. And I was like, what kind of abusive thing is this? If I have to reload my gun, I gotta put down my flashlight and just be in the dark with things jumping at me.
Does it still have those things that hang down and crunch you?
It does.
Because like when I was going to school, a friend of mine, like that's when in 2002 or 3, when Half-Life 1 was still kind of big, and he would just come into class and just rant about those things. He'd have to like hit Alt F4 and he'd just be like freaking out because the crunchy noise gave him nightmares. And this is like a weightlifty guy. And I was like, what are you fucking talking about? And later on I played it. I'm like, you're a little aged now, but I can see that. But in VR, fuck no.
Yeah,
have you gotten to play Half-Life 1 in VR?
No.
Yes, and with nothing else changed, just putting it in VR, like it's still freaking creepy as hell.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is. Yeah. It takes a game that like, because I played Half-Life 1 as a kid, but it was a solid like 20 years after the game came out, and it was just sort of like a novel. Like, oh wow, it's the first-person shooter. Oh, it's still so fun. Once that thing came on in VR, and I was in like a flickering hallway, and there was the explosion. I was like, oh my! Like all of the years of graphics didn't mean anything. Its ambiance was incredible. It really is the power of VR, is that your brain kind of fills in, like once you're in a 3D environment and you have spatial audio and all these things going on, your brain just kind of goes, all right, this is reality. This is what the world's like. The world's pixelated.
Yep. That barrel's really fucking there. Go get after it, you dumbass.
So if it makes you feel any better, I've got a story like that. When we first I guess it was a year back, it was right after the Quest 2 came out. We were showing it to a family friend, and we wanted to show them. We were like, what's the easiest game to start? So we put them in Job Simulator, and because we were like, if we throw them in vertical shift first, they're never going to want to play VR again. We threw them in vertical shift after, and they learned to love it. We had a whole strategy for it, but anyway. So he's working as a cashier. He's shit talking the robots that come up. He's like, wow, this is really incredible. And then he goes to lean on the counter and falls all the way on his face. We had to like catch him. He was an older man too. We were like, oh my God, we're gonna break him. He got out. He was so embarrassed. We were like, it's how could, it was your first time in VR. There was a table. And I'll tell you, there was once I was taking my controller off while I was working on some QA stuff. I took my controller off and I went to put it on the table and then let go. And that was not a table. That was VR. I dropped my controller.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, one day, I mean, they're working on stuff now that'll kind of fix that, right? Like it'll work your room environment into the virtual space so that you can have more tangible stuff.
Yeah.
I want that technology in that EMU VR setup with the 90s bedroom or whatever. So I can have it mapped to like my room and just sit there in a VR bedroom. Like, yeah.
That does sound kind of nice. I'm just slowly getting closer to you. I hope that's okay. Do we clip into each other? Oh, I hate it. I don't like it at all. Oh no, get out of me. He's inside me.
Okay, get off him.
I'm gonna put that in the reviews.
Yeah.
It smells so good. I don't know what you're wearing.
All right, how's my controller? Oh boy. I better get this thing. My charger does not want to stay on the headset, and I am at 4%. So in the event I spontaneously combust, please know it's not personal.
We're going to crank the VR dial for chat up to 1.5. So with vertical shift, the reason you're here, kind of.
That is the reason I'm here.
We talked about it.
So what's your guys? Do you have like a roadmap? Do you have like plans for like full release or any like major updates or anything you want to?
Yeah, absolutely.
share?
We're going to be updating throughout the year. We're going to have new maps coming out. We're going to have new cosmetic purchase options coming out very soon. I don't have a full roadmap to show off, but what I can tell you is that if you join our Discord, you're going to receive constant updates on what we're going to be putting out. You're going to be first to know, and we will be probably within a year or maybe two, depending on development, moving our game into a paid full launch, and that's going to be bigger than better than everything that's come before. The game is right now, it's all of our side hustles. So we can only put so much time into it, but as we are ramping up development and we're getting more and more revenue coming in from our cosmetic purchases, from the in-game advertisements, we're hoping to make this more and more of our lives and really turn this into a full studio that will be a name that goes on into the generations of VR. Here, I've got a spiel. You want to hear my spiel? This is my pitch. This is the pitch I've made to a couple of our investors. It calls back to Half-Life, right?
Pitch from the pitch. Let's hear it.
Exactly. So you guys lived this. So tell me if I'm wrong. I look at this moment in VR gaming as a kind of a repeat of the early 90s PC gaming. This new technology comes out and it can do brand new things. In the 90s, it was 3D. It was 3D environments. It was Doom. It was Half-Life. It was this ability to go into a three-dimensional world through your computer and go around, not a 2D platformer. And it was a total seed change where all of the rules got rewritten, and video games were that's how video games were for the next 30 years. Is that how y'all remember it?
Oh, yeah.
No.
We think that's what's happening right now. All the rules got to get rewritten. All the technology is new. But we think the next 30 years are going to look a lot more like this than they look like the last 30.
Yeah.
So that's why we're jumping in now. And that's why we're trying to learn all these rules before the AAA studios are even bothering to learn them, is so that we can be on the forefront. Because, Valve was not a AAA studio before Half-Life. The reason they were able to become a AAA studio is because they saw the writing on the wall. They saw PC gaming was going to be the next big thing, and they moved in there before Nintendo and before Microsoft and before anyone else tried. And that's why Valve now runs the entire PC world. So Corrupted Media, one day, we're going to be running the VR world. You keep an eye out for the Corrupted Media deck.
Nice. I fully agree, though.
Will corrupt all
I
my
think you're
media.
right on.
Thank you. Well, keep up with us. I'd love to keep in contact with you guys. I may not
Yeah,
be able
come
to
back
hang
when
out
I-
much longer because of my headset, but I'd love to come back on here with more of the team. They can talk to you more about the technical parts. Ben can go on for a long time about our competitive scene and where he wants to see it go. He can talk way more about that than I can. I'm the story guy. I'm the business guy. When I start playing competitively, I get my butt kicked.
Yeah, anytime you have updates or anything, we'd love to have you.
Or no update. Come back.
Or yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll just come to visit. I've enjoyed chatting DeLoreans with y'all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And whatever the next big thing is, be like, remember vertical shift in VR, and now like BC, the new thing, like when we played vertical shift and the old vertical shift in BC, and it was amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
You lost
I
me,
look forward to
but I
that.
get
well, man,
Vertical
it's been
shift
awesome
4D.
talking to you. Hopefully, your battery doesn't die on us, but yeah, thanks for your time and sharing your guys' stories. Like it's just I love hearing you guys building what you want and making it the game you want and sharing it is always a great thing.
Thank you so much. That's honestly really rewarding to hear. I'm looking forward to playing with y'all. We'll grab our best players. We'll schedule a time, and you guys can stream it and let everybody know what's going on.
All right. Sorry, Wilkie, did I cut you off right there?
No, I had
Okay.
cat problems too.
Oh. Oh man, have fun at MomoCon. Tell everyone
Thank
I said
you.
hey.
Hey, if you guys are over in North Carolina, you can drive on down and join us.
I would, but
What?
I'm in Wisconsin.
No, that's a little further.
He's away.
Yeah.
I don't think my
All right, well,
66
you-
Volvo is going to make.
Well, that's an excellent point. That's why you got to get the gull wing doors on there.
That's right.
Now you can fly.
Like Mask.
Exactly.
You don't remember Mask, so
Oh.
I'll bore you
MASH?
with it.
My mom
No.
loved MASH.
The old
That's
cartoon
most-
and toys Mask, where they had a car where the gull-wing doors popped open and it could suddenly fly.
Or like
pretty cool.
Trans Am. Cartoons to sell toys.
I mean, that's what the Transformers were, right? And we still love them. Okay, well, I am at 2%, so I should go for the graceful exit rather than the abrupt combustion. It's been
thanks
such a
again,
pleasure
man.
being on with both of you. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone listening. Hope to see you all in the game. Verticalshift.net. Vertical
What
Shift
game?
on
Where can I
Oculus
get it?
App Labs. Vertical Shift, Oculus App Labs. Steam VR. Or just go on the internet. Look up Vertical
Links in the
Shift.
show
You'll
notes.
find us.
Yeah.
Or go to the links. Join us
Ask
on
your
Discord.
friends. They will have heard about it because they listen
They
to
might. The further every single month, more of them will have heard about it. Look at it that
And
way.
And if they haven't, you have, so you tell them.
Hey, please tell your friends. Tell your friends. We're a multiplayer game. We need multiple players.
What was that Family
Good
Guy
point.
line? You tell two friends, and they'll do two friends, and that's like 10 people right there.
That is. All right, that's 1%. Lauren's gonna wave away.
See you guys.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you guys. Take care.
See ya. Well, Ron, thanks for listening, hanging out, and watching. Links are in the
Don't
show
look-
notes, like we said. Check out the game.
Oh.
It's a good time. It's the locomotion with the grapple hooks, the jet hands, and the gliding. It's pretty crazy. You can get some speed going. Apparently, I'm
It's
going to
pretty
learn how to
good.
juke.
One of PJ's recent tweets had him and I in Neos VR, and he was playing Godzilla, and I was
Gojira.
playing like the Iron Man, Spider-Man, Spyron person stuff. But I was like flying around, and just even that, well, that was me in that when you can't see my name, but like look up PJ's recent tweet and it says Wookiee and Neos. But like, just flying around that, I was just doing that for like 2 hours. It felt like
Yeah.
I was just flying around. So now it's got a point, like the whole game built around that kind of motion is probably pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could keep up with a bunch of people without a lot of practice, but
We'll stay in the baby league.
Yeah. I mean, so when we play shooters, I'm just used to, like Xbox and stuff. And you push right bumper and you take cover behind a wall and you push X to reload. We're playing, VR shooters and I'm just sitting there. Oh yeah, I got to reload. I'm like, oh, I'm not hiding behind anything because I'm not used to moving my whole big ass body down there. Like, oh, you got to squat and hide and you get shot. So, actually gliding with your arms out and tagging people and punching people in the crotch at full contact.
I don't see that in the notes anywhere.
Well, how do you tag people? You just touch them? Aren't you supposed to
Yeah,
You talk
I
about
meant the crotch
tag
part.
timing? Yeah. I mean, if you get those, I'm sticking my feet out, none of you can see it where my foot is. My foot. But once they get full body VR stuff, you can bet I'm going to be swinging and shit. I'm going to kick somebody in the face. It's going to do something to them in VR, not in real life. It's going to,
Haptics,
knock
baby.
them right off their whatever they're riding on, right off their horse. Just like kick some bitches.
He was mentioning jousting and vertical shift, but I never thought of that'd be a fucking fun VR game, just regular jousting.
I'll get on it. We'll put it in here.
Every episode we come up with something new and our backlog's getting huge.
Yeah.
Someday. But I would like to knock you off a horse.
That would be
or
fun.
a hoverboard. I don't care.
Unless you got power. See, I don't know if we could hang out with him because, he doesn't know any of the quotes that we know. He's talking about the DeLorean, but does he really know unless you've got power? Does he have a self-drying jacket? No, I don't either, but
I'll shoot that to him in Discord and see what his reply is. Then we can judge him.
Judge him by his reply. This is the litmus test. If you can answer this in 10 seconds, no Googling, no cheating, we'll jump in your tournament with your crazies. That does look like fun, though.
Yeah.
I like that that quick action combat and stuff. Flipping around.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thanks again, everyone. Just a reminder, for those who don't know, because apparently a lot of people still don't know, we do the show live in VR and then release the audio as the podcast. So just look for VR Verdict on YouTube and you can catch our live videos and clips and all that fun stuff. But coming soon, somewhat soon, you can join the audience.
Yeah. We'll get better at the self-promoting thing. We got to sprinkle that throughout the episodes. Recording coming to you now live from VR. We got to get radio voices. That was horrible, but we'll get better ones. Never mind. Nobody knows what radio is anymore.
Yeah. Lauren wouldn't. We're picking on the poor guy that came to talk to us when he's gone. We're assholes.
Yeah. It's his battery.
Yeah, he didn't plug it in. That's his fault.
It's just fine.
All
he
right.
seems like a good kid. Have a good night. Go check out Vertical Shift. It's free for a while. No reason not to.
Get it while it's hot and free.
Like your mama.
All right.